Hey and welcome to the Lean Girl YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be about a topic that you have been asking about, and that is intermittent fasting. So if you have questions about intermittent fasting, what is it all about? Should you be doing it? Is it some kind of magic secret fat loss formula? Then stay tuned to this video because I'm going to be answering all of your questions, teaching you how it's done, and letting you know if it is something that you should be giving a shot. So before we get into the video, gotta ask you, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet done it. The Lean Girl YouTube channel is where you are going to find all of my high protein, low calorie recipes, awesome workouts, vlogs, everything that you need to build your leanest body ever. So subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, you don't want to miss out, and of course give this video a thumbs up while you're there. Support your girls, support my channel so I can bring you more awesome content. Okay, let's get into it, ladies. Intermittent fasting. What is intermittent fasting? Let's say you have no idea, you've never heard of it. It's basically windows of eating and windows of fasting, i.e. not eating. A very popular kind of breakdown is the 8-16, 8 hours of the day where you are eating, not eating for 8 hours, but you eat within that 8-hour period, and 16 hours where you are not eating. Again, a very popular split is normally to not eat breakfast, start eating at 12 p.m. and then finishing your last meal by 8 p.m. in the evening. Now, there are various ways to do this. And again, this schedule is kind of just the standard one which a lot of people use because it is pretty convenient, seeing that you're just skipping out one meal of the day and starting your first meal with lunch. Of course, if you are a big breakfast eater, you could do the opposite way around. Eat your meals earlier in the day and then skip your evening meal. Now, what is the theory behind intermittent fasting? Is it some kind of secret magic fat loss formula that if you start doing is magically going to get you lean? You know the answer to that. It's a big fat no. Now, people have been putting a lot of hype around intermittent fasting, but let me give it to you plain and simple. The only reason why intermittent fasting works, if it works for you, is because you are going to be in a calorie deficit. So think about it. If you're eating all of your meals in a much shorter time period, it means that you are fuller within that time period and you feel really satisfied and yeah, you feel full, okay? Whereas if you are eating your meals over a long period of time, you have a lot of time in between there to get really hungry and you're gonna wanna eat more calories. So this does not break the golden rule of fat loss, which is if you wanna lose fat, it is calories in versus calories out. So if you are eating 6 meals a day, spaced out, all over, and your calories are the same at the end of the day, or you're eating 2 giant meals at night and your calories are the same at the end of the day, the fat loss results will be identical. So intermittent fasting is not a secret. The only thing you are going to be doing is you are going to give yourself a shorter window, eating window in which to eat those calories. So let's say you're eating one meal at 12 p.m, then you're eating another meal at 3 p.m, then another one at 6 p.m, and another one at 7:30 p.m. The space between those meals is very short, which means that you are going to feel a lot fuller within that time versus, let's say you ate your first meal at 5 a.m. and then you ate your next meal at 1 p.m. There's a huge time in between that for you to get really hungry, okay? So that is really the theory around it and how it generally works. Now, there are a lot of people who say when you are in your fasted stage, you shouldn't eat any calories at all. Now, because we know that we are doing this for calorie control purposes, if you happen to have a 50-calorie coffee in the morning, which is gonna help you tide you over until your first meal, then absolutely no problem. I do this. I have a coffee in the morning that's an almond cappuccino, and that helps me kind of fend off the hunger until I eat my first meal at around 12:30 or 1 o'clock. and you will be really surprised that your body gets really used to this eating schedule. I've never been a huge breakfast eater, so it wasn't too difficult for me, but I promise you, like the first few days that you do try it, it can be like, I'm so hangry right now, but after a few days you really do get used to it. So anyway, so as I was saying, around the having coffee or having something in the morning, at the end of the day you still need to be tracking your calories. So here is something important I really do want to mention. Just skipping out breakfast is not going to get you the fat loss result that you want. You still need to be tracking your calories, because trust me, you can still eat a hell of a lot of calories between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. and you can still go over your calorie budget. You will not be in a calorie deficit and you will not lose fat. So who is intermittent fasting for? Now, intermittent fasting is fantastic if you are trying to lose fat, for the reason that it will help you with your appetite control. So if you are in a calorie deficit but you are struggling to eat within that calorie budget, as I like to call it, then intermittent fasting may be fantastic for you. It really does help to control the appetite, as I've said. So if you also have a big appetite and even you are trying to maintain your weight but you are struggling to keep your calories down, then intermittent fasting may also be a fantastic strategy for you. Now, on the flip side, if you are struggling to eat as many calories as you need to, intermittent fasting would probably not be a good strategy. But if you're like me and you love to eat some big meals, and you like to feel really satisfied and satiated by a lot of calories in one sitting, then intermittent fasting might be the exact thing that you need. So if you want to get started on intermittent fasting, here are a couple of tips. So the first thing you would do is you would decide on your eating window. Now, again, a really popular one is fasting for 16 hours and eating for 8, starting with your first meal at 12. Now, if this sounds really scary, you can definitely build your way up. So say you normally eat breakfast at 8 a.m, you can push it out to 9, then 10, and then 12, and then you know how it goes. Of course, remember that this is all about calorie control, so you need to make the eating times that you choose suitable to you. So for example, I love to have a big dinner and I like to have dessert, which means that this works perfectly for me. I keep a big chunk of my calories for the end of the day so that I can make it work within that calorie budget and within my preferences. So at the end of the day, I'm basically eating exactly how I want, but I'm still eating within that calorie budget. So step number 1, choose your own eating schedule that is going to work for you. Number 2, you can then start pushing out your meals. And again, you can have coffee in the morning. I generally have a coffee, and then be sure to drink a lot of liquids, a lot of water, and sparkling water also really helps, especially in the beginning times when you are feeling quite hungry. But make sure to stay really hydrated. And then last but not least, don't forget, you still have to be tracking your calories. So use an app like MyFitnessPal. If you have no idea about calorie tracking, please check out my programs on my website. That's leangirlguide.com. I have got step-by-step programs that will take out all the guesswork and teach you everything that you need to know about calorie and macro counting and how you can use that to get lean. Now, I must also mention that this does not mean that you actually cut out an entire meal, but rather you can still have 3 or 4 meals a day, but you are just going to space them closer together. So guys, that brings me to the end of the video. I hope that I answered all of your questions. If there's anything else that you want to know about intermittent fasting, please leave your comments in the comment box down below and I will be sure to get back to you on all of those. Otherwise, just don't forget to thumbs up this video, support my channel, and let me know in the comments as well what topics you'd like me to tackle in my upcoming vlogs. I love to hear from you guys and what it is that you want to know, and I love then serving up that content to you. Otherwise, look out for more videos from me, Angie, here on the Lean Girl YouTube channel. Sending you all so much love. This is not any kind of secret. Now, before I forget, I also wanted to mention that this does not mean that you just cut out an entire